Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. We are breaking down all the latest sports news for you today. Of course, we're going to be talking about Pat Mahomes' crazy contract. Pretty unbelievable. I can't wait to hear what the squad thinks about all of that. We're also talking about a little interesting tidbit about Magic Johnson. But before we do all that, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends. Now, here is the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Chris?
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K. Patrick Mahomes, that's everywhere at CK2K. So if you want to lend some money, okay, CK2K. Thank you.
No, not lend, give. That's too much. You got too much money to be lending. Just give it to me.
You're so right. You're so right.
You can follow me everywhere at JRay the Fanatic.
Right. Breaking news, everyone. Patrick Mahomes is paying the next round of stimulus checks for everybody.
Right.
I'm Britt Johnson. You guys can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
All right. We are ready to talk about Patrick Mahomes. So let's just go ahead and do that right now. He is officially set for life. So he just signed the richest NFL contract in history. So here's what you all need to know. It's a $450 million contract that includes an injury guarantee of $140 million. His contract is not tied to a percentage of the salary cap, and it could go up to $503 million with incentives. And so it doesn't kick in for 2 more seasons, and it's a 10-year contract. So he's basically locked in with the Chiefs for 12 years, which is a very long time. It's basically a baseball contract, which is what a lot of people were saying online. I'm not surprised that they want to lock him down for that long. He's been one of the star player for the Chiefs for a long time, but it's just crazy because he's only 24 years old. He's a young guy. And he's walking away with a pretty sweet deal. It's, I think I read it's the most lucrative in sports history. So, Chris, let's talk to you first. What stands out the most to you about this contract?
That Patrick Mahomes just continues to show that he is Madden in real life, okay? The way he plays the game is like a video game character, and now he's getting paid like a video game character with the salary cap settings turned off. It's insane. It's all insane, and it's just it's crazy, and I'm happy for him. I feel like he of a lot of the players, he does deserve it, but I just feel like the first thing I thought about was what we talked about last week with a certain defensive player on that same team looking for some money, and I'm really curious to see what happens with that. But all that aside, I think it's definitely deserved. It's just different in today's era of sports when everybody is ready to get theirs and go to another team and not solidify and stay with one team for a long period of time. And Patrick Mahomes saying, "Nah, I'm cool here," and he's set for life. $500 million, jeez, crazy.
I know, it's
crazy.
Outrageous. Britt, do you think that there is any player who could be next to getting a bag like that?
As far as NFL, I honestly kind of like, personally for the Chiefs, I think this is kind of a bad deal because if you look at the rest of their offensive roster is all young players, and you're going to have to lose all of these players or just continually to have really good drafts every year, which you're not going to get good first rounders because probably the next 2 seasons you are going to be in the playoff picture. So I think this is going to be long term. It's going to be bad for the Chiefs because they don't have money to pay anybody else. This is not the MLB as far as contracts are concerned because they can't just give out money and just keep having money in their pocket. Like it's a hard cap. So you are going against he's making up a quarter of the cap for the whole entire team. So now you're trying to pay an offensive line, receivers, running backs, all of that, plus your defense on top of that. It's not going to happen. Like they lucked out right now just because everybody is like young on the team or whatever, and nobody's up for a contract. But there's a tight end on that team that's right now one of the best tight ends in the league, and he's going to be up for a contract very soon, and you are not going to be able to afford to keep him, along with a lot of your other players. Tyreek Hill's not going to be able to be there. There's so many players on that team that are not going to be able to be on that team. So, yeah, I mean, you got probably one of the best quarterbacks of this era, but you're not going to have a squad around him. Hopefully, lucky like the Patriots did, subpar receivers and still end up making it to the Super Bowl. But I just don't think. I mean, we all know Tom Brady did take a lot of pay to make them to get to the Super Bowl. So I think this is bad for the Chiefs. Not hating on Patrick Mahomes, that's great, but they literally signed the last 2 years ago for not them, but the NFL signed a quarterback 2 years ago, which was Russell Wilson for the 30. He was the highest paid quarterback, and then now years later, you're giving Patrick Mahomes basically $5 million, which is $1 million gap here, and it's not raising what we're going to see with quarterbacks. That's just going to be a Patrick Mahomes dollar because other teams are not going to be able to afford to pay anybody that much money. So, I mean, congrats, but it's a bad deal for Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't see them winning too much more after the next couple years. Just keeping it real.
So I like that you're keeping it real. Lots of the conversations about Patrick have just been like, wow, this is amazing. This is huge, blah, blah, blah. But you're drawing attention to something that's actually pretty valid. So I'm curious to hear, Britt, what you think the Chiefs were thinking when they offered him this 12-year deal. If you feel strongly that it's not going to work out for them in the best way possible in the end, what do you think they were considering with this whole contract?
I mean, obviously they're securing him as a quarterback, but they didn't think whatever else is going to happen unless they just, okay, maybe let's just try to win it again. A couple years, have some Peyton's where we win back to back couple years, and then after that, team is going to literally tank, just like they're going to be in 20 years. My Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys last time they won a Super Bowl in '95, and then they didn't win anything since. So it's going to happen. That's the thing's going to happen with the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're going to literally go dry and never win again. So I don't know what they were thinking. A little drinking, smoking something. I don't know. Maybe they were fading.
Getting a little too excited. Okay, so Jackie, do you feel like this contract is well deserved? Is it overkill? What are your general thoughts on this 10-year deal?
It's definitely overkill. And what we're not going to do, we're probably going to just get into a repeat of what Britt said, because this is definitely poor planning. This is what my dad would say: if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, and this is definitely a fail. This is awful. I've seen some of the most ridiculous comments about this contract, like, oh, we're going to talk about this again and what we're not going to do, but like the pressure is on Patrick Mahomes. That's incorrect. That now Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson can anticipate bigger contract. That is the dumbest thing I read. So like this contract is just ludicrous, and the commentary around it is ludicrous. And I don't know what the plan was. I think somebody woke up and was like, I had a dream that we had the highest contract and never won again. It was a beautiful dream. And then
Little Timmy. Little Timmy was playing last night. He told Dad, like, did you know you could turn off salary cap?
Right.
Yeah, little Timmy out here.
Signing contracts. Okay.
Somebody need to put little Timmy in timeout, because little Timmy out here messing up everything for everybody. Right.
I'm saying.
Well, either way, I mean, whether there's a bad move on the Chiefs' part, Mahomes is certainly walking away in a good position. He is set for life. His girlfriend is going to be set for life.
Wait, that's what I did want to ask y'all. How long? Because once you get the bag, you tend to upgrade. So how long is the girl going to be the girl? I want to know.
Russell Wilson's ex-wife doesn't look nothing like Sierra. Russell
That's
got
what
that
I'm saying.
check, he upgraded to Sierra. So
and bought her whole catalog for her. I just want to see what the upgrade is looking like. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like she made it long enough.
Patrick,
right?
You can follow me at I am Britt Johnson. And
I knew it. Man, if I had an amazing weekend, I'd be doing the same thing. Like, look, can I be? Britt, when you bag him, can I be your stylist? I just need to be on the team. Like, just let me get the stylist check.
I get the whole night. What you want, girl?
See, that's why we cool. That's why we cool.
All right, let's move on into this next story. So former Penn State basketball guard Rasir Bolton, he's now a member of Iowa State, wrote a letter that dove into details of inappropriate conduct from coach Pat Chambers. So Bolton said that the coach used the word noose as a metaphor to describe the pressure that he thought Rozier was feeling. He said coach did not apologize, even when the coach and school administrator's allusion to the noose made him feel uncomfortable. In his letter, he describes how he was told how to deal with Chambers' personality type as opposed to actually taking action against the coach, and how the school should deal with the problematic behaviors of the coach himself. He also says that the treatment from Coach Chambers and the school's surface level response and all of the racist microaggressions that he experienced while there motivated him to leave Penn State. So this story comes just after we saw Oklahoma State football players blast their coach for a variety of actions, including wearing anti-Black Lives Matter t-shirts and calling athletes thugs and other racially insensitive names. So Coach Chambers apologized on Monday and pledged to learn from the experience, but so far no other action has been taken on the school's part. Now, criticizing a coach is obviously a risky avenue to take. In the past, athletes have been silenced for speaking out, but now we're seeing that when athletes do take action, when they do start to voice their opinions and, kind of air these negative stories for the public to see, sometimes things can actually change. We can see something happen, but still not enough has been done. So, Jackie, I want to go to you. Why do you think Coach Chambers has not been fired yet, and do you think it'll happen eventually?
The only reason he hasn't been fired is because the people above him have like minds and they think it's no big deal. I mean, the second you tell a kid that you need to learn how to deal with this, I told you about my story where my favorite teacher in school told me something similar. I needed to learn how to deal with these types of personalities instead of addressing it. So, I mean, this is Penn State, though. I'm almost at the point where I'm tired of talking about Penn State. Can we just close the school? I mean, because at this point, your kid's just not safe if they go there. And that's just unfortunate. When I was reading this story, I think the first thing I thought is the look on my mom's face when I went away to college and she was just afraid of all the things I was going to endure. And I was just going an hour away. I can't even imagine, if I had to read this and my kid had gone through this, and it's just really sad. I think they'll ultimately end up firing him, but it's for the wrong reasons. They'll ultimately end up firing him because they're going to get pressure to do so. And I think that people need to realize that doesn't really do much if you do something after the fact. If your first mind isn't to do the right thing, you don't get credit for doing the right thing after you get pressure. It's just, the whole thing is just really sad. And I feel bad for every kid that goes to Penn State because I feel like they're going to go through something either way.
Yeah, I'm with you. So Britt, do you agree that schools are more willing to stand up for their coaches and their administrators than listen to their students or athletes?
Absolutely. And the number one reason why is because coaches' contracts are guaranteed. So even if the coach gets fired or whatever, they still have to pay the coach out that money and they don't want to lose out on that money. So that's the number one reason why. But we're literally talking about Penn State. Does anyone not remember? Well, Jackie just talked about it a little bit, Sandusky's whole situation. Literally, the president, the vice president, and the AD all got fired after the fact and all got charged with the fact that they literally perjured, they had obstruction of justice, and they also failed to report child abuse and child molestation. Literally, he got charged with 52 counts of child molestation that literally the whole entire school knew about and nothing happened. Talking about that same school, this happened in 2011, and I'm not surprised that it happened. Like Jackie said, let's just shut down the whole school. I get State is one of the oldest universities, whatever. It needs to be shut down because clearly, literally everybody there, unfortunately, these people were the same, because this coach was hired in 2011. So actually that AD did hire this coach, but literally they tried to clean house, but it's the same situation. It was the football program almost a decade ago. And now it's this, and it's just a continuing just atmosphere there. And literally the people there just don't care. They don't protect their players. They don't protect children, apparently. It's really disgusting. So that whole university needs to be under review. I don't care if you fired the coach, president, or whatever. Literally, it's a continuum at the same university. So it's a deeper issue. Let's go to the whole entire board. Let's go. There's so many other people's decisions besides just a coach or just the deep. Clearly, the situation is deeply rooted because this player said that he went and talked to multiple different people. He talked to his counselors, he talked to whatever, and everybody had the same answer for him, which was, here, let's take us, I'll give you a psychologist's number so you can figure out how to deal with your coach. Like, no, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, that part really frustrated me because it shouldn't be on the student or the athlete to figure out how to deal with a problematic coach. It should be the other way around. Send the coach to therapy, have him see a psychiatrist, figure out why he's being such a problematic person. Chris, let's go to you for this final question. Do you think that the recent influx of athletes calling out their coaches will empower and inspire more players to not let things slide going forward?
It's crazy because I think you asked me that question with the last story we were talking about with this same thing. And I thought at that time, I didn't think so because of the power that is the NCAA, but we're getting, I think that's being proven wrong at this point. So I'm changing my answer and I'm going to say yes. I think we are at a point now where, the students do feel strong enough to speak their truth and speak out on situations like this that will, better their future. And it's just so sad with this because like Jackie said, with this situation, it's one of those things where after Nasir said what he has to say, or Rasir, said what he had to say. Now they're gonna act on it, and I'm sure just like with Sandusky, with everything else, I'm sure it was known knowledge, and now they're gonna act on it, and now they're gonna fire on it, and it's just not a good look, and that whole school just needs to just be recycled and you start all over and try it again, like make them NEP State or something like that, because it's not a good look. So yeah, to answer the initial question, I do believe that this is it's becoming a trend that I hope continues. If you feel like you're being wrong, say something, and I hope this is something that definitely does continue.
If I was running a college right now, though, I would not be on team react. I would be so proud. I would be sitting down all of my student athletes and I would say, what have you experienced during your time here? What have we, so we can get in front of it. So then the next narrative can come out that my college students or my college athletes are saying, yo, our school got in front of it and they're listening to us. And it's so easy. And that's the thing that always confuses me about life. It really is easy if you pay a little bit of attention to just kind of say, okay, let me just try to make things a little bit better. But this is the NC. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's sad to me. It really is sad.
Proactive, not reactive.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Jackie, that seems like the obvious solution. That seems like, of course, the schools would take that approach. For whatever reason, think that they can hide a little bit longer and keep some of the public scrutiny. But as we're seeing now, athletes are becoming more and more willing to. I think seeing their fellow, students do the same thing, it's kind of inspiring and motivating. And like we've said so many times in the show, there's power in numbers. The more people that are speaking up, the more likely change will happen. Okay, let's move on into something a little bit lighter. Magic Johnson. So he just admitted that he has a ghost tweeter. He's hired someone specifically to post tweets on his behalf. It's pretty surprising considering his tweets are like pretty vanilla. I mean, there's no hot takes, there's no opinionated or polarizing commentary. It's just like the most basic updates. Congratulations to Patrick Mahomes on the contract. Congratulations. Like, it's just so basic. He told Rob Lowe that he is not the one writing those tweets. He admitted that he has somebody who writes them out, but he did say that he tells this person what he wants his tweets to say. So now what I want to know is why can't he type that out himself? It's really not hard.
Little Timmy is out here cleaning up. This is Little Timmy. Little Timmy is employed by Magic Johnson. He is out here getting all the money.
Next time I hear Patrick Mahomes, that's what I'm gonna have. I'm just gonna be like, I'll find
a little Timmy.
Like, hey, you want to do for me, girl? Like, you want to do this? Like, just give people jobs because you have money and you want to cash some checks or write some checks out.
I'm gonna do that. But if his name is gonna be Richard, but I'm still gonna call him Little Timmy. That's just what it is gonna be. It's still Little Timmy.
Jackie, if it was Little Timmy, we would be, I think, getting something a little bit more creative here, because even Little Timmy's got
he has standards.
Yeah, right.
Little Timmy has standards, all right.
So this time on completely new person for our ghost tweeter, because this one is just very, very lukewarm, very, very basic. Chris,
I just want to go ahead. Sorry. I was just gonna ask, like, what the hell do Laker fans feel? Like, what the hell do Laker fans feel about this? Because this is the reason why he left his job. One of the big reasons that he said that he left his job is so he can be able to tweet and say whatever he wants without worrying about getting fined. The man is not even tweeting the stuff himself. Like, yeah, sure, he's saying what he wants, saying to the person to tweet out. It's just so. The whole thing around this is just so funny to me. I don't know. I have nothing else to add besides that, because all I can think of besides the, like, I'm not going to be here besides that part. Like, he pretty much said he wants to leave so he can tweet what he wants to tweet. And then he followed, like Devin said, he followed that by tweeting absolutely nothing since he's left the president. I mean, since he's left being the president of the Lakers. He's tweeted, but none of it was anything like, oh, wow, Magic Johnson. No, that's great. So now to find out he's not even running.
So he literally just wanted to be able to. He just wanted to be able to say hi to other athletes without being blamed for tampering. Is that literally it?
Pretty much.
Oh my god.
Pretty much it. Oh my god.
Congratulations to Anthony Davis without people thinking, oh, he's trying to bring Anthony Davis on the Lakers.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
but at least do some weird, like, Cam Newton tweets. At least make it, funky. Make that Cam Newton lettering or something.
I want to hear something that gets people, like, really, really excited and really, really mad at the same time. That's what if you're going to leave, if you're going to hire a tweeter. Yeah, Britt?
I feel like the tweeter's probably somebody that, like, you would imagine. Magic Johnson is, like, in his, like, late 50s, 60s or whatever. Like, he's older. So, like, you don't imagine a person that old to be able to tweet, like, very cool, insightful, like, funny, LOL.
Have you seen the president's tweets? His tweets are cause a riot. Clearly, you can be crazy and old at the same time.
Yeah,
that is true.
Dude needs to get his money back on that ghost tweeter for sure.
Right. Or hire one of us. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would do it. I would do it. Okay, you guys, that wraps up Need to Know News. I feel like that would have been in a WTF segment if we still had that, because that seems like a WTF story. But nope, now it's a news story. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Chris, can you tell us what's going on in the world of Instagram and other things happening on Twitter?
Of course, because it's time for Post Up with your boy Chris. Quarantine a bit. I can't even get past that. That blew my mind. This man has a ghost. Like, what a waste of a ghost tweeter. Like, anyways, moving on. Hey guys, welcome to Post Up with your boy Chris, Quarantine Edition, and we are starting off with LeBron James, who, we joked about it in the intro. We're all, trying to get a little something from Patrick Mahomes after his huge payday. But see, LeBron James, you can't make this joke, all right, man, because you got the money. But it was like people still laugh because LeBron James immediately congratulated Patrick Mahomes, but also asking for a bit of money on top of that. He tweeted out, "Congrats, brother. Let me borrow $5," and he put the shrug emoji and laughing emoji. I thought that was pretty funny. But LeBron James, you know damn well you don't need none of Patrick Mahomes' money, so let us be the ones asking for it so we can get some first. All right. Again, CK2K. Full name is Chris Clark. If you don't see it, you find me. I'm easy to find. All right. So hit me up, Patrick Mahomes, whenever you're ready. Yeah, moving on to the next one. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, his teammate, wide receiver, McCole Hardman Jr. Now he spit. I think he laughed, but it was one of those things like Kevin Durant yesterday. Like, he's laughing on the outside, but on the inside, he actually means this tweet, because I feel like there's some truth to this tweet. Because I mean, come on, he posted out after Mahomes' payday. He tweeted out, "All I know is if Pat make a bad throw of any kind to me, it's going to be my fault, and I should have made the pass catchable," with the laughing emoji. Like I said, I feel like he's laughing on the outside, but knowing deep down that is exactly what the case is going to be. If he misses any catch from Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid going to be on him. He could be butt naked open and Mahomes could have underthrown it. That's going to be your fault, my guy. So I think it's funny, haha, but in the same time, prepare yourself, my guy. It's a new era that you guys are going through. But hey, look, you're one of the guys that are on the lower end of the contract scale, so you're probably going to get more reps with Kansas City than a lot of these other guys. Because like Britt said, other guys are going to have to get paid. And with that money going to Patrick Mahomes, those guys won't get paid. So it's okay, man. Your time will come. You got some time because you're not getting paid too much. On to this next one. Somebody else who's probably going to be looking for money. We were talking about, Dak Prescott, who's probably like perked up a little bit. And probably Lamar Jackson a little bit too. All these other quarterbacks like mine. They're all like, I want my money too. But Deshaun Watson's teammate Dylan Cole, linebacker for the Texans, he got his quarterbacks back. Like, as soon as this report came out, he posted this tweet trying to get Deshaun Watson's attention. He's like, hey, yo, Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson, let me tell you, he responded real quick with one of my favorite responses on Twitter. I love when people use this picture because it always fits. But
so cute. Oh, my God.
He's like, slight smile, like, I'm coming for that bag. So Deshaun Watson is in the race. I'm so curious. So before we move on, I'm curious. Now, obviously, we know how you feel about it, Jackie. But I want to come to you first, Brett. I'm going to come back to you, Jackie. Do you think, and if you do, who will be? Do you think somebody else is going to come close to a contract of this magnitude from any other team in the NFL? And if you do think so, who do you think that's going to be?
Chris, do not listen to me the whole
right.
So you don't think at all. So you don't think anyone at all. So you don't think okay.
No. The closest, like obviously the new CBA will be coming up next year, as well as the new TV deal for the NFL. So we do know that the caps will go up. Will it go that much up to where we're going to see another player getting a $45 million a year contract, which is a quarter of the salary cap? No, we're not going to see that. I could see maybe it goes up. Obviously, Russ Haspik is still at 35 mil. It goes up to maybe 38, close to 40, but we're not going to see 45 million in the next years that he is making that much money. We're just not going to see that. That's like legit ludicrous because CBA is, guess what, 10 years long. So we're going to see a little bump, but we're not going to see anything else until maybe the next CBA.
So you don't see any of these other NFL teams dipping in their pocket, paying their own money. Okay, I'm just trying. Okay, because I can't give these teams credit. I just don't know who it would be. But look, I feel like the Ravens might do something very similar. I just feel like it might not be no 10-year deal, but I feel like Baltimore be like, hold on, let me check my pockets too. Hey, Lamar, you want to stay? Like
38 to 40 mil. It's not going to be $45 million, and it's not going to be no 400 and whatever 33 whatever it was million guaranteed with 140 million injury guarantee. Hell no.
Okay, so no 20-year deal for Dak.
Stop it right now.
Shut up.
All right. I was trying to get a little reaction out, bro. I ain't getting nothing. Okay. I was trying to get something out, bro. I ain't getting nothing. All right. Put my flat. All right. Moving on to this next one. Dwight Howard, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking about Dwight Howard and Kyrie Irving and the coalition that was created within the NBA as far as players who didn't feel ready to come back to playing basketball with the protests and with the movement going on for Black Lives Matter. And with all that being said, Dwight Howard finally made a decision that he will actually be playing at the restart of the NBA's bubble season here at the end of this month. And it comes with a very, very cool twist that I'm a fan of. Shams tweeted out this saying, Lakers center Dwight Howard told The Athletic today he has decided to play in the restarted NBA season, join the team on Thursday in Orlando, and will donate his remaining game checks to his nonprofit campaign, Breathe Again. So shout out to that. I love that. I'm always a fan of that. We've seen, NFL players who, give up their entire season contracts for nonprofits that they believe in. We've seen players do situations like this, like All-Star and stuff like that. I'm always a fan of this. So I feel like, Dwight Howard is being able to do what I initially feel. I feel like he's still going to be able to speak and talk on this movement, as well as being able to play basketball and get that championship that I'm sure he really wants to get. So I'm glad that he found that medium. He was able to come to this decision. I'm sure Laker fans are very excited about that too, because meme and joke all you want, Dwight Howard has been a powerhouse for that team this entire season, and I'm sure that the Laker fans can be happy for whatever they can get from the team. So shout out to Dwight Howard and shout out to the decision to give the rest of his checks to Breathing. I think that's dope. Moving from one NBA team to the next, one team that is competing for a championship to another team that, well, in a past life, well, not past life, just a few seasons ago before some injuries would be competing for a championship, and that's the Golden State Warriors. Now, Klay Thompson has come out to say that he is feeling like he is fully ready to play. Obviously, the Warriors are not fully ready to play because they won't be in the bubble. They might be in this little secondary bubble that the NBA is proposing in Chicago. But regardless, Klay Thompson is rehabbing, and he is looking good. And he put up this video of him and Lil Rocco Thompson out here getting some work in. Well, Klay's getting the work in, but as you can see, Rocco not so much. But hey, like Klay said, Rocco's being there for moral support. He's got his guys back, making sure he made it up, and he's going right to him. So, I mean, Rocco doing what Rocco does. But I think it's really cool just, see him, Klay Thompson being Klay Thompson again. Hopefully, get him on the court next season if there's a next season in December. But
R&B music? Was that R&B music in the back? Who works out to R&B?
I couldn't tell what the song was, but it definitely was R&B. Britt does
like some love songs, like I love you. Really?
Yeah,
I need some like who that.
Yes, that's my favorite to work out to. But yesterday I was working out to Summer Walker, girl.
What? I need Ratchet. That's just as ratchet as possible. I can't be all like thinking about love and happiness. Like I can't even jog to that. Be a slow walk. Like,
man, it takes your mind off the workout. I'm with it. I'm with both of them. I understand both.
Work out anyway, girl.
Look, that's why I need the ratchet music so I can hurry up. I've been working out for a whole entire week, and you put some slow songs on, I'm about to fall out. Like, oh no. Look, the Fumble's calling me out. Look, I just started a workout. I walked 20 miles this week so far. Look at this.
You don't work out. Damn.
Well, where am I supposed to start? I can't just all of a sudden be working out for a year now. Damn.
Well, damn.
At the beginning of quarantine, you were saying that you were going to start working out back then. It started.
And I did for 2 whole days. Yeah, I got a workout playlist and I walk every day. And y'all remember I walked.
You said that though. I did.
Yeah,
for 2 whole days.
I did. At the beginning of quarantine, remember I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it," and then it lasted 2 days, and then I was like, "That shit's for the birds. I can't do it no more." But now I'm a bird again, and now I'm doing it again.
I can't stop laughing at the fact that the Fumble pretty much said that you were more Rocco than
Called
Klay Thompson in that clip. Look, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? This one, speaking of crazy, oh my gosh, this one I really did a little bit too much research on, and I didn't get to the bottom of it. I have one assumption on how this took place. All right, we talked about Britt's favorite documentary. When I say favorite, she absolutely hates this documentary, The Tiger King, when this whole thing first started. And the biggest takeaway outside of the actual Tiger King himself was Carol Baskin. And now we got a crazy, we got a crazy kind of like alternate universe where the NBA and Carol Baskin come together, and now we got They got me talking like it now. They got Carol Baskin out here wishing Zion Williamson a happy birthday. Yesterday was Zion Williamson's birthday, and Carol Baskin had a little message from. Can we run this weird clip, please, Dave?
The cool cats and kittens at Overtime have loved watching you play and grow over the years and can't wait to watch you dunk on everybody in Orlando.
I have so many questions. So Overtime posted this. This wasn't posted from Carol Baskin, and Overtime posted this. So I had questions, and I was doing my research. Now, for those who may or may not know, there is a app/website called Cameo where you can pay to have celebrities say whatever you want them to say. So my assumption is that Overtime went on a Cameo and got Carol Baskin to drop this message, because this to me just makes absolute. I don't understand the connections. I don't know if there's some. I don't know if there's some nickname I'm missing in the chat that Zion Williamson is known as the Big Cat, because if that's what they're calling him, that's news to me. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, hey, happy belated to you, Zion. I hope you got your message from Carol Baskin. And does it creep anyone else out the way that she talks in those like I feel like you can add like slowly building like scary music like while she's talking. Like it creeps me out. The way she talks just creeps me out.
I think Hannibal puts the lotion on the skin. Like it's super gross.
I don't know, but hey,
I haven't seen y'all saw the Tiger King though, so y'all it's probably more creepy to y'all than it is to me. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
But even if you don't, even without seeing it, that didn't creep you out a little bit. Just how hello, cats and kittens, Zion Williamson dunking into the house. Like that didn't freak you out a little bit. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just all so weird. I don't know. Hey, but congrats, I guess, Zion. Happy birthday, my guy. I hope it was better than just a message from Carol Baskin. Now, from Carol Baskin to my guy, J.R. Earl Smith or Earl Smith Jr., whatever I call him, because Knicks, whatever. You guys know the inside on that. He is officially a Laker. I've said this like 3 times, but he is officially a Laker because he finally is out there wearing the Laker gear. He was out there practicing, and JR, like he was, I don't know who he thought he was talking to, but he was out here. I don't know who he was trying to talk to with this video. He was pretty much trying to like give the people what they wanted to see because he is finally in his Laker jersey. He's in Laker practice facility. He dropped this video. JR is ready to go. All right, don't start with that, bro. Don't talk to me like that.
Come on, man.
All right. Like, don't stop staring at me. See, I look. When I first saw this guy, I followed J.R. Smith. I'm like, what in the Trey songs is this? Because he's like, this is what y'all came here to see. Yeah, I'm in my Lakers gears. Look, you see LeBron? That's my boy LeBron. You see LeBron? Like, it's just, I was like, yo, Jay, I'm glad. I'm happy you back. Look. There ain't no sweat. What you doing? Wiping your eye like you just, I hate it. I hated it. But hey, I'm excited that he's back.
You feeling himself.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Or maybe he was drinking last night, and then now it's like, woo, Jesus. Woo.
Oh, my gosh. But anyways, yeah, so JR's back. He's here. He's got some practice in, and he's ready to go. So Lakers look like they're ready to go. Got Dwight Howard coming, J.R. Smith going. I've seen some shooting of Deion Waiters. Deion Waiters looks like he's ready to go. I'm still not rooting for the Lakers, but hey, I'm just waiting for some to implode for that team because it's going to happen. Anyways, that's just my hater side coming out. But last but not least, speaking of hater side, okay. The WNBA. When I first heard this report that they were going to finish the season, I like that. But when I found out where they're doing it, I felt like it was very disrespectful. And now, first, okay, for those who may or may not know, WNBA decided to to do their entire season in a bubble at IMG Academy. And for those who may not know, IMG Academy is like a connection school, so it's for like teenagers and for like athletes that there's actual word for whatever. Regardless, it's for kids. Okay, now mind you, their workout facilities, their stadiums, continuation. Thank you. Their workout facilities, but sports based continuation school. Their workout, all that, their sports based stuff is top notch. So I see it from that standpoint. But remember, this is for like kids to be living in. So so I imagine this to have like a dorm, downtown LA, like low level apartment vibe with the living situation. And to hear that these professional, I don't care if it's WNBA, NBA, you can say what you want to say about salaries and blah blah blah. These are professional basketball players that are gonna be staying in these living quarters. I knew it was gonna be. It was going to come out for a little bit bad, and I did not expect it to come out as bad as it has come out because they are now officially making their move to their bubble, just like the NBA is making the move to their bubble. And there are videos, pictures, tweets, all kind of crazy that is coming out. Starting with these 2 videos that are posted by Kayla. This first one is a video of the laundry room.
What?
That is a laundry room that professional athletes. You see that rat trap?
Oh no!
Look at that.
Wow,
come on.
So
that's ridiculous.
That's crazy, right? Yeah, but again, remember this is a situation for look, and then there's another video. That's not pear, ladies and gentlemen. That's a worm.
Oh,
Looking like a
no.
maggot out of Lion King. That's in somebody's bedroom. It wasn't specified whose bedroom it was, but it was one of the players' bedrooms. And yeah, so the living situation is, I knew it wasn't going to be great. And now seeing this be exposed the way it is just not a good look. I feel like it's hella disrespectful. We also had some tweets that also came out. They were funny, but also just sad. We had this first one that said it was a lettuce emoji, "Let us pray" by Asia Wilson. And then we had another tweet saying the NBA would never ... and they would not ever. So I don't know. I understand. No, I don't. I really understand. Like, I get it, but you couldn't do it at like a college campus, like to use IMG, like the basketball stuff aside, they still have to live. And then there's also pictures of the food situation. I didn't even get to put that on there. It did not look good. It looked like a frozen meal that was expired. And I don't know if frozen meals can get expired. So it's just like it's a crazy, crazy situation. So I want to come to you, Jackie, just hearing this and seeing this, and know that there's a lot worse that's also going on with this situation right now. Not sure how much you know about IMG, but just regardless if you know anything or not, just knowing that they're pretty much going to, like we said, a continuation school to continue a professional league. Was that and it was just okay? Then obviously, you get what you can, but shouldn't that have been a sign from the jump to like, no, let's find a different location? Or do you think that they knew what they're in for and now they should just deal with what they're seeing? Like, how do you feel about this whole situation?
I mean, I feel like, honestly, if this is the best they could do, you just call it and you just don't continue on. Right. Because, I mean, we literally just got to the point where we know about these players having to play overseas and the accommodations that they were getting when they were traveling anyway. And now we're trying to turn a corner and saying, yeah, we're going to give them more money. We're going to give them better accommodation, except for now. And we're going to just put them in this situation for right now. It makes you look silly. And I'm sitting over here. I got the heebie-jeebies right now. It's unacceptable. And if you can't do better, and I get it, maybe you don't have the money, or the WNBA, you depend highly on the NBA sometimes. And so if you don't have the money, say we don't have the money to continue on, and raise awareness that way. So maybe next time, if God forbid we enter a situation where we're looking at something like this again, people are more aware. You can but it's definitely better than subjecting your players to this. This is embarrassing. I feel so bad.
Professional players,
players. I wouldn't even if it was a child. I mean, I wouldn't want my child living in something like that. Well, you know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. It's a continuation school. They continue for a reason.
And it's focused on sports. Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It's still gross, though. But it's just, it doesn't look like, it looks like a slum. It looks like when you think of a slum and people living in inhumane conditions, that's what it looks like. And I just don't think when you're talking about professional sport, the NBA would never, because they could never, because they're athletes. LeBron would walk in there and be like, oh, y'all got me messed all the way up, and that would be over. And I think that's what we need to see here too.
Yeah, and I've seen IMG, Cam, and the thing is, like I said, the sporting side of it is great. I think that part I understand, but the living situation, they might as well have just gone over to like any hotel compared to this.
Right.
Any hotel, just be like, yo, we taking this for the next 2 months. How much y'all need, kind of situation, because that would have been a way better scenario than what they're going through right now. But so that's going on right now. Like I said, they just started loading up into what they're calling the Wubble. And I hope, I want to say hopefully we'll see better, but no, we probably won't. I mean, if you're seeing that, I don't know. Someone's got to step in and do something. I feel like, since they do have the communication between the WNBPA and the NBPA, I don't know. Something needs to be worked out for the living situation, if it will be, but crazy. But please go ahead, Britt.
So unfortunately, they probably just finally what happens in women's sports for college all the time. Like I used to do a lot of softball teams and basketball teams, and I did a story on the women's softball team in Louisiana and LSU, because they went all the way to the World Series and stuff a couple years ago, and they're a great team. But compared to where the baseball players are staying. The women actually had to stay in like Motel 6s instead, literally like actual Motel 6s, and accommodations are super crappy. Where teams were taking planes, they had to take buses to places and stuff like that. So it's like across the board between women's and men's sports, it's huge, crazy thing. Even if the women's sports is naturally way better than the men's sports team is for that particular school or whatever. So it's really disgusting. And this is what the women's soccer team has been fighting for this whole time, is just equality in sports, especially at the college level, because that's like the worst of it. Like, you think the pros, this is what the pros are doing? Imagine what the college
right
like right now.
Right.
It's sad.
It's crazy. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, on that note, that's unfortunate. It's just crazy that I'm not seeing enough of this on social media. Like, you have to look to find this. Like, I feel like there's somebody should be speaking out on this.
Yeah, I saw Dan Lillard post about it right before the show.
Good.
He said there has to be some kind of sick joke.
Good.
Like, are you guys kidding?
Right. See, and that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, but like I said, they're just settling in. I use that word very loosely, and hopefully, you know, like you said, like Dame Lillard and more people start speaking out on that, so something we change. But on that note, that's it for me here on Post Up.
Thank you so much, Chris. Now, Jackie, what I'm not gonna do.
Didn't even know. See, that's, Lord. All right, so we've talked about this a couple of times throughout the show with Patrick Mahomes' contract, and I told you that there are a lot of narratives right now in the sports world that are saying all the pressure is on Patrick Mahomes now because he can't go out there and not be as effective as he has been because now he's a $500 million man. So what we're not going to do, in my opinion, is pretend that this might not potentially be all the money, but also a career ender. So let's just break this down really quick, you guys. Tyreek Hill, the wide receiver, unrestricted free agent in 2023. Their center, unrestricted free agent in 2021. Their right tackle, unrestricted free agent in 2022. The best tight end in the league, Travis Kelce, unrestricted free agent 2022. Their wide receiver, Sammy Watkins, unrestricted free agent 2021. Both of their running backs, Damian Williams, unrestricted free agent in 2021, and Darwin Thompson, unrestricted free agent in 2023. The hell y'all gonna do? I mean, you need a whole new team. So unless you are really about to, like Britt said, go out there and just draft up a whole bunch of beasts who are going to play like in beast mode on a rookie contract, you got a lot of people that we already talked about Chris wanting to sit out because he's on the defensive side. I just talked about the offense. We didn't even talk about the defense and the contracts that are expiring over there. Who gonna pay him? So this pressure is not on Patrick Mahomes. This is squarely on their GM and Andy Reid and trying to figure out how they're going to make. I personally think that 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about how this was an epic fail and the decline of the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but I think that's what's going to happen because you just can't succeed if you can't pay anybody. And then people are going to be holding out. Maybe, especially with this coronavirus too, you're not getting the income in. And then now the league is going to say, oh, we can't do blah, blah, blah because we didn't get the income. I think what we're ultimately going to end up seeing is a restructuring of this contract. So Patrick will take less at some point. But y'all better enjoy this Super Bowl that y'all got because it shall not come again. That's all I got to say about that. But now look, let me move on to this one because I know this one's a sensitive subject for a lot of people. So Deshaun Watson, if you guys don't know, this past weekend, so on the 4th, Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is the leader of the Nation of Islam, he did this whole speech and it was like 3 hours long. It was long. I could not watch all of it. I watched maybe like an hour and a half of it. But Deshaun Watson clearly watched all of it because he decided to share some of it on his Instagram. He shared a quote from the speech. Fox Soul was actually supposed to air it. They decided not to air it because they said it was, Farrakhan he's considered anti-Semitic and misogynistic. So Deshaun Watson posted a quote, just a regular quote. He says, after watching the speech, and he says, "This man is powerful. I hope everyone got a chance to watch this. Don't be blinded. Know what's going on." He should have left it at that, but instead he posted this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but up in the top corner of it, it's a quote from Adolf Hitler, and it says, The Jews will black America. They will extort America. Their plan for world domination won't work if the Negroes know who they are. The backlash was swift and it was quick. Former Eagles president Joe Banner said, quote, if a white player said anything about African Americans as outrageous as what Deshaun Jackson said about the Jews tonight, there would be at least a serious conversation about cutting him and a need for the team, a team meeting to discuss. Not exactly true. May I remind you about a not so great wide receiver named Riley Cooper, who said the N-word at will and said he would beat all the N-words, and nobody really said anything as far as the team was concerned. Riley issued some fake apologies, and Michael Vick actually co-signed on that as well. So I get what he's trying to say, but he's kind of wrong in that one. Deshaun followed up with the backlash, and he said, anyone who feels I have hate towards the Jewish community took my post the wrong way. I have no hatred in my heart towards no one. Equality. And then the Eagles issued a statement as well, and they basically said that they had spoken to Deshaun about it. They don't condone his words regardless of his intent, and they encourage him to apologize, which he ultimately did. He posted an apology on IG. It's a long one. It's almost a 2-minute long apology, but I did want to post a small clip from it here if we could, just so you guys, if we have that. If not, it's cool.
What's going on? I've been getting a lot of backlash and, feedback from an Instagram post that I put on my Instagram story. I just want to, first off, extend an apology on the behalf of me and what I stand for, because, I'm one that's fair, and I never want to put any race down or any people down. And, my post was definitely not intended for anybody of any race to feel any type of way, especially the Jewish community. When I posted what I posted, I definitely didn't mean it to the extent that you guys took it. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm, very apologetic. And I just want you guys to understand that it never was intended to be,
So, like I said, his apology is pretty long. And basically what he was saying is he just wanted to kind of educate Black people on what's going on in the world, and so we can know our history and things of that nature. I know a lot of people have issues with Farrakhan. I don't personally share the same issues, but I don't understand how you see a quote where it says Adolf Hitler in the top and you post it. Nevertheless, that apology is way better than the apology that we got from Riley Cooper. So Devin, my question is for you. Is it enough that he apologizes? Because another thing that I'm seeing is people are wanting him to renounce Minister Louis Farrakhan because they say he's anti-Semitic, misogynistic, and homophobic. So is it enough that he apologized, or should he renounce Minister Louis Farrakhan as well?
Ooh, this is a tough question. This whole story is pretty weird to me. I don't know. Jackie, I don't know. I'm Jewish, so whenever I
know, that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, anything that's about when people promote Hitler or whatever, it feels very weird. I think that it's good that he apologizes. I've said this before. I think that everybody can be enlightened. I think people can learn and they can change. I think that maybe just from the public image, it would be a good idea for him to separate himself. But I don't know. I'm happy to accept the apology and move forward. But I don't know. I don't have a good answer for this. The whole thing feels a little weird.
What was your first thought when you saw his post?
I mean, anytime I see anything like that, my first thought is what the F? I was about to say the F word, but I know we're not allowed to. It sounds weird saying that. So I don't know. I mean, it blows my mind. Any type of anti-Semitic or racist things that I see online, they all make me have the same reaction of just shock and outrage. So I thought it was in very poor taste, and I can never wrap my mind around people sharing anything like that has any sort of discriminatory message behind it. Yeah,
I'm all for education, especially about Black issues. But fun fact, anytime you see the phrase or the name Adolf Hitler, don't post it. Seems pretty easy. A lot of this seems pretty easy to me. But So listen, guys, imagine getting into a terrible car accident, and then that car accident causes you some sort of impairment that makes it difficult for you to understand certain things and to process information. And if that wasn't bad enough, imagine being interrogated for hours, being exhausted, not fully understanding the severity of the situation, and admitting to something that you didn't do. That is exactly what happened to Eric Kelly. And it is why the Equal Justice Initiative is so important. The Equal Justice Initiative is an incredible nonprofit organization that provides legal representation to prisoners who may have been wrongly convicted of crimes, poor prisoners without effective representation, and others who may have been denied a fair trial. So listen, take a moment to donate. I know you guys see the link. I know you guys know you can do it in a super chat. Please take a second to donate, because it could help people like Eric Kelly and Ralph Lee, who were convicted of a murder and a robbery in New Jersey in 1996. They were largely convicted based on contrary statements that they made to police during an extensive interrogation. Detectives did admit that they fed them the information. They supplied Kelly with the interrogation from Lee, and then they were recorded. They weren't recorded. They just typed them up. The detectives typed them up. They had no evidence. They had no statements from witnesses, and that was enough to get them convicted of the murder of Tito Marino. At the scene of the crime, police did find a green and purple plaid baseball hat that didn't belong to anyone, and they did feel that was probably worn by the person who committed the murder. They did submit it for DNA testing, but at that time, DNA testing wasn't as extensive as it is now. So the court ordered retesting of that hat in October of 2010 over the prosecution's opposition. Male DNA was identified, and it did exclude Kelly and Lee as the murderer. The profile was entered into the FBI's DNA database of convicted felons and matched to a man who matched the age and physical description of a person a witness did say they saw around the store at the time of the murder. 7 years later, in September of 2017, a New Jersey Superior Court judge vacated the convictions based on the DNA evidence identifying the other suspects, and Kelly and Lee were released on bail shortly after, with the prosecution appealing both decision and their release. However, it took up until March 2018 for the Superior Court and the New Jersey Appellate Division to unanimously affirm the decision by the Superior Court and vacate the conviction. So on April 6, 2018, the Innocent Project with Eric Kelly and Ralph Lee were exonerated of their 1996 felony murder and robbery convictions, making their end for justice. It took more than 24 years for them to be exonerated of this crime. So you never want to hear about people being sentenced to prison for a crime that they didn't commit. And so with your donation, the Equal Justice Initiative can help situations like this one. So please, again, do a super chat with your donation. Click the link, or you can visit them at eji.org to help us make sure we can fight for justice for innocent men and women like this. So please donate, and thank you very much. Okay, Chris, where you at, my friend?
Mm-hmm. I'm here.
Because it is time for Brit's Takes.
Brit's Takes.
Someone was a little weird today.
He's glitchy.
It's glitchy. Oh, no.
Okay, I'm good. Okay. Yeah. Today, to continue on the craziness that is the WNBA, which we don't actually talk about often, but I'm glad we are able to talk about it. So time again is going to highlight the WNBA, but be a negative thing because of one of the owners. So as a Clippers fan, I had to do this story because it's only right. So Kelly Loeffler, who is a U.S. senator from Georgia, she was sworn in December of 2019, and she also happens to be the co-owner of the Atlanta Dream team. So according to Yahoo Sports, they released an article this week about why is she still allowed to be owner of a team and Donald Sterling is not. She has said some very Donald Sterling-ish things. So according to Yahoo, in this week alone, just in this week, in the last week, she basically implied that Black Americans do not have the same constitutional rights as non-Black Americans. She also posted a video supporting the anti-LGBTQ Family Policy Alliance. She also called the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to strike down Louisiana's abortion law and activist agenda. Okay, those three things right there go completely against the team that she owns, because guess what? She owns a women's basketball team. She owns a predominantly Black basketball team, and she owns a basketball team that includes members of the LGBTQ family. So the fact that she said all of those things just this week alone, and literally there are members of one of those groups a part of her team, is in and of itself crazy that she still has a job. Another one of the things she also said in the last couple weeks was when she was talking about the Black protesters that came in support of Richard Brooks at the Wendy's. They came armed. They were Black supporters. And she said about that moment that this is totally unacceptable. We cannot allow mob rule. We are a nation of rule of law. Mind you, little Miss Kelly is also huge with the NRA. She literally supports the Second Amendment to the T, but not when it comes to Black people having guns, apparently. And to be clear, Georgia is an open carry state. So what these Black protesters were doing by carrying their guns was not illegal at all. So I don't understand what she's talking about, especially when she's been to several rallies and in support of the NRA and having people's gun rights. So, but when it's Black people, it's mob rule now, so we can't do that kind of stuff. She literally has said so many things in the last couple weeks that I just kept thinking back to 6 years ago when Donald Sterling was the owner, and literally, it was just a conversation that he was having with his little side chick at the time, Miss Siviano, about Black people. And he said some horrible things about Black people. And that was just a privately recorded conversation. Obviously, it took the players, the Clippers players, because none of the other players were really as supportive or ready to cancel the season like the Clippers were. But the Clippers players came together, led by Chris Paul, and decided that they were, if Donald Sterling remained the owner of the team, that they were going to sit out. So the NBA, obviously with a little force, they kind of had to do it in that situation. They decided to immediately remove Donald Sterling. And then obviously we know now the Clippers have Steve Ballmer, which is probably one of the best owners in the league right now. And he's done a lot of great things. So I don't understand why the WNBA has not tried to, because these are stuff that she said on TV, like in actual interviews on TV. It wasn't some private question that she had else or a private email or whatever that she, like, I remember Hawker had some private emails that got released and they were like debating on remove him or whatever as the owner. This isn't that kind of shit. This is literally on television, Fox and all of these other companies or news outlets or whatever saying this. So it's not like we could be like, oh, I don't know, because that was a private conversation. She didn't agree to be recorded. He's literally saying this out in the open. Yet the NBA has not done anything about it yet. However, the W commissioner did a statement talking about how she was so proud of WNBA stuff that they're doing, which is, of course, it's off for them. Obviously, they're in their shitty situation that they're in that we got a little bit earlier. But, I mean, they're to have the same kind of things the NBA is going to have. They're going to have Black Lives Matter on the court, have their warm-up say Lives Matter on in the back. It's going to say her name. They are going to have all new units call for justice for women and girls, Vanessa. So they're what the WNBA is going to be doing. They're also, the point that I wanted the NBA to do, they're going to be doing podcasts and virtual roundtables during this time to continue to speak out about, but then still have the racist owner who literally is not being punished at all. Nobody said anything. The commissioner didn't say anything, but she did say this. She said systemic change can't happen overnight, but it is our shared responsibility to do everything we can to raise awareness and promote the justice we hope to see in society. Well, the number one thing you can do, my sister, is get rid of this owner, because she literally is part of the problem. And I don't even understand why she still is part owner of this team. Like, it's disgusting. She needs to be removed immediately. It's not that hard. We saw it happen with the Clippers and Donald Sterling, he was literally removed in a matter of days. So it's not that hard. It's not like you have to go through this long process to remove it when there's literally evidence, actual evidence of TV interviews, stuff that she said in statements or whatever, where she clearly is against not only the race of her players, but their sexual orientation, like so many things. She's against them being able to have abortions. They want to have abortions. Like she's against so many things that literally embody her whole entire team. So this isn't even just a race thing in this situation. She's literally checking off every horrible thing you could say or do against your own players. And yet she still sits there as one of the owners of the team as season's going to start. So WNBA, I think you should listen to what you are actually saying and trying to speak to the public, because like we said before, the Black Lives Matter on the courts is cool. The whatever's cool, like the jersey stuff's cool. But if you're not actually taking action against stuff, none of that matters. So you can start your guys' season late July as long as you want to. But if you don't have this change happen and you don't have whatever, like taking, like having this woman still like as an owner of a team, like one of her own team or her own players or whatever, Renee Montgomery has opted out of the 2020 season in order to fight for social reform, along with several other WNBA players. They've kind of followed the suit of Maya Moore. And like your players, are another dream player just dropped out too, and you're literally like losing players and losing the whole entire league. There's only 128 players that are even going into or went into the bubble for the WNBA. 7 of those players just tested positive for COVID this week. So out of the 12 teams you have, is the Atlanta Dream Team even going to be able to compete? There's teams that only have like 10 players on the team right now because of this. So I think it needs to be immediately. I'm calling for the WNBA to do something immediately about it, because hey, you guys have a lot that you need to do something immediately about. And another one is take care of your players and make sure that they're not sitting with rats and stuff in their bed. There's 128 players. You guys can afford to get them a decent hotel room or an extended stay place that they can stay at. You can stay in extended stay places for like $100 a day for like a 2-bedroom. Like figure it out, get something taken care of, because literally it's embarrassing what's happening right now in the WNBA. And I don't think the players deserve any of it. Jackie, my question is going to be to you really quick. Why do you think the league taken action against removing Kelly as the owner of the team? Do you think that it's a place where nobody else is, they don't think they can find another owner? Or like, why do you think that she's still in that position after she's on more than one occasion done this to her players?
I think it's one of those things where, unfortunately, the WNBA just doesn't get enough attention. I think if it was on the main stage, it would be a no-brainer. I think I would love to see the NBA step up right now and support these players and say, hey, you know what? If you're worried about your salary, if you're worried about not being able to, feed your family because we know you guys don't make as much as us, we got your salary. None of y'all play until she's removed. And then boom, right. Because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take, a little the star power of the NBA to kind of shed a light on the WNBA so it can get the attention that it needs. And we've seen people like Damian Lillard, like you talked about earlier, and I know Russell's tweeted some stuff out before, and LeBron I think did one. Yeah. Right. So now it's time. Now it's time to literally put your money where your mouth is and give these women an out and put the WNBA on notice and say, okay, this whole we are two separate entity things, that those days are gone. We are going to fight for our sisters that are out here playing good ball. And now if you mess with one of them, you mess with us. And so now when you have that kind of consequence, I think you'll see things move a lot faster. So NBA, watch the Fumble and listen and support these ladies. Yeah. And I think this will change really quickly.
And it's how little it would take for them to support the entire WNBA. So there's 12 teams in the WNBA, 128 players, and literally don't even make $100,000 a year. So it's just to say they do make $100,000 a year, for a whole entire team, a 10 roster team, it's $1 million. You don't think you can get $12 together amongst the whole entire NBA to then donate to the WNBA, all of their salaries? That's like saying that's a stretch. It wouldn't even cost the whole entire WNBA. And how much does even LeBron make in one season? He's making 30 in this season. So they're alone in the NBA could take care of the whole entire WNBA salary for the year. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's do something. Come on.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Get her done.
Right. That's going to be it for Brits today. Thanks, guys.
That's a good take. I loved it.
Thank you.
You're muted. Devin, you're muted.
Devin is muted. Everybody freeze again.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Next time you're muted like that, we're all just gonna freeze and see if you really freak out. Like, oh.
Yep. Yep.
Hilarious.
Okay. All right, guys, well, that wraps up our show for the day. We're going to be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, give this video a like, leave a comment below, wash your hands, and donate to EJI if you can. Even the smallest amount helps. So we shall see you tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Tweet about the WNBA today, guys. Tweet about them.
Yes.
Get that
WNBA.
Yes.
I'll get on it.
Tweet about them. Keep your hands clean and have a great day. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I almost forgot again. Damn it.
All right, can you hear me?